Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Bex here today to share with you the Would You Rather Bookish Edition tag set of questions. It's not even a tag. I saw Eric at Break Even Books do this a few weeks ago and thought it seemed really fun. I will link his channel down below. Please go check out his version of this video and also all of the other awesome content that he posts. But yeah, he didn't tag me or anything. I just saw it, thought it seemed fun. This is exactly what it sounds like. It is 12 questions that are would you rathers, but they have a bookish spin on them. So let's get started. Question number 1, would you rather have a friend who loses your books or one who dog-ears them? I think I would rather have a friend that actually loses the book, because then I could ask them to please rebuy it for me. Because if somebody's dog-earing all of these pages in my book, that would annoy me a lot when I received it back from them, because I do not dog-ear my pages. So I would rather have a fresh copy from said friend than get one back that was all bent in all of the corners. Question 2, would you rather secretly love a book everyone else hates or secretly hate a book everyone else loves? I would probably choose to love a book that everyone else hates, because at least it's a book that I really enjoyed reading and I had a great experience with it, or the story just really moved me, I really related to it, whatever it may be. At least it's a positive feeling for me, and I just have to be strong, like strong-willed in knowing that I love this book and it's okay that a lot of other people don't like it. Whereas if I hate a book that everybody else loves, that's just such a negative emotion, and I feel like I already dislike a bunch of things that other readers love. So to love something that everybody else hates would be nice. Question 3, would you rather be stuck on a very long plane or train ride without a book? Ooh, probably a train ride, because at least you can watch what's happening out the window a lot more easily. In a plane, you might not be seated near the window, your seat companion may have the shade down, and a lot of times you might be looking at water or clouds, you just can't see as much. Whereas on a train ride, the landscape is right there passing by you. So if I don't have a book to turn to, I think I would rather be on a train. I know that planes sometimes have TVs on the back of the seat in front of you, which would be a good alternative, but it's not guaranteed. I feel like most of the planes I've been on lately do not have televisions. Question 4, would you rather have dinner with your favorite author or your favorite character? I think it would actually be cool to have dinner with your favorite character if they are coming from the world that they're from, with all of the knowledge that they have existing in that universe, because then you could ask them a lot of questions. My favorite characters, I don't know if I really have one at this point anymore, but I would probably choose somebody that comes from some sort of fantasy world or some place that I've never been, so that I could ask them a lot of questions about where they're from and they could tell me a lot of interesting stories. Question 5, would you rather date a character you have a crush on or your crush from real life? This is a bit of a weird question, because I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't get crushes on characters. There's definitely a bunch of people that do, but I feel like there's a large group of us that also don't really crush on characters. But yeah, I think I'd rather date my crush from real life, because, you know, I do have a boyfriend, so I would consider him my crush in real life. So yeah, rather date him. Question 6, would you rather have your favorite book turned into a movie or your favorite movie turned into a book? I would definitely rather have my favorite book turned into a movie. I know that the adaptations are not always perfect. You kind of have to think of it as a separate medium. It's an interpretation of the original. I still have my favorite book to go back to, but the movie could be really fun too, and it's less time investment to watch the movie. So yes, I'd much rather see it turned into a film, because I do like watching movies a lot. Question 7, would you rather read a book with an annoying cliffhanger or one where your favorite character is killed off? I would probably be okay with the annoying cliffhanger, I do still read some series these days, and sometimes there is an annoying cliffhanger in there. I would rather have to sit through a cliffhanger knowing that there's another book coming than have my favorite character killed off, because there would have to be a very good reason for why that character was killed off. It's just gonna make you sad and upset anyway. Like, for example, there are some spoilers here for the His Dark Materials series by Philip Pullman. In that series, Lee and his Damon Hester are killed off, and it kind of makes sense in the moment. You know, they go down in as much of an epic way as they possibly can, but it made me really sad because I really liked them as a character duo. So I would rather deal with an annoying cliffhanger than have to go through that sort of sadness again and again. Question 8, would you rather lose the ability to read any new books or the ability to reread books you've already read? I would prefer to lose the ability to reread books I've already read. I have been rereading a bit more in the last 2 years or so, but I definitely still read more new things, and I would be more excited about reading new things. I love the potential that a book has. I think that's what makes me really excited about going book shopping, is you see all of these interesting things and I'm just excited to pick them up and see how I feel about them. Whereas rereading a book, there is a sort of comfort in knowing what's going to happen, and you do get to revisit your favorite places and characters, but I wouldn't want to be stuck to only the books that I've read so far in my life, because there's so many other ones out there that I would like to try. Question 9, would you rather live in a library or a bookstore? I love the look of like a big old library, but a lot of books in a library they can be kind of beat up. They might smell bad. Like, I've taken out books from the library and they've smelled like cigarette smoke and whatnot. Whereas a bookstore, the books are usually new, or at least they have newer books or used books that are maybe in a little bit better condition and are less likely to smell weird. Don't get me wrong, I love the library and I do borrow a lot of things from there, but I think if I were to surround myself with a certain type of book, I would rather be in a bookstore with all of like the new crisp books. Just like there's a lot of beautiful libraries out there, there's a lot of beautiful bookstores too, so I would just choose like a very beautiful big bookstore that has a lot of nooks and crannies where you could kind of cozy up and read, and yeah, it would be a good time. I would love to live in a bookstore. Question 10, would you rather lose your place or get a paper cut every time you read a book? Getting a paper cut every time you read a book would be awful. Paper cuts are so annoying. I think I would rather lose my place. This has happened to me enough times in my life where I might have accidentally, like the book might have accidentally closed on me, the wind blew the pages, the bookmark slips out or something, and I've had to kind of figure out where I was, because I remember relatively where I am, and I would just have to work a little bit more to figure it out, whereas a paper cut every time, I would have paper cuts all over my hands all the time. So yeah, I would just rather lose my place. Question 11, would you rather have to always read in the dark or always read books with tiny text? Oh, I love reading in the sunshine way too much to always have to read in the dark. I would much rather read books with tiny text. My eyes can still stand tiny text. I know that I will not always be so lucky, but I can get a magnifying glass or something. If I was that desperate, I would get a magnifying glass, because I love to read in the sunshine during the day. I'll feel so cozy. And you know, reading at night is nice too, but I would never want to be just stuck only reading when it's dark out. Oh, the sun is too great. I wouldn't want to miss out on that. And the final question is, would you rather read by a fireplace or on the beach? This, I don't know, I feel like maybe a lot of people would probably choose the beach, because I feel like I always hear about people loving to read on the beach. I would actually rather read by a fireplace. The beach is often really windy and you get sand everywhere, including in your book. And I don't know, it's not my favorite vibe, I guess. I have definitely read on the beach before. I will do it again, but if I had the choice, I would rather be warm and cozy under a blanket by the fire. The fact that it's a fireplace makes me think that you're in a more controlled environment, so I wouldn't be worried about sand in my face or the wind just like constantly battering me, or even people being like wet and like shaking themselves off and potentially getting my book wet. Yeah, there's too many variables at the beach. I would much rather be nice and cozy by a fireplace. Those are my answers to the Would You Rather Bookish Edition questions. If you would like to share any of your responses to these questions, please do so in the comments below. I will copy the questions in the down bar so you can refer to those if you want. And also our links are in that down bar if you would like to follow any of those, to Goodreads or Twitter, which is, you know, Twitter is Twitter at this point. Who knows? At some point we probably won't have a Twitter anymore, or at least we won't be updating our Twitter, but I'm still on there occasionally, so the Twitter link is still there, so you can go, you know, check us out on those platforms. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you later.